Me Jacobson here, John Anthony, and for Dan Proft today. Thanks for coming in, partner.
Thanks for having me.
And you had a busy night last night.
Yeah, I was actually, I went to attend the Mike Lindell event in Barrington.
Yes.
But I was voluntold to MC it.
You were what?
Voluntold to MC it.
Oh, so somebody
there.
came up to you at the event and was like,
Yeah.
hey, John, we need you to MC this
Brett
event.
Corrigan, he's big in Trump world now.
Mhm.
He's like 18, 19 years old. We're in the restroom, and he goes, hey, you're MCing this event. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And so, you don't.
Were you
turn down.
dressed properly?
Well, I had a hoodie.
Oh, there.
Wait, hold on. I brought a suit
You
jacket.
had me at hoodie.
I had a suit jacket, but I'm like, I got my brand on, and this is Mike Lindell. Why not keep my brand that I have on black
All right,
and right?
what do you wear? Oh, you have that on right now?
No, this is not the one I had on. It's okay to be black and right.
Oh, it's okay to be
It's
black
okay
and
to
right.
be
Where
black
can we
and right.
find this merchandise?
Blackandrightradio.com.
Blackandrightradio.com. You're also on the air on Saturdays from 4 to 7.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
4
tomorrow.
to 7.
What are you going to have on your show?
A lot of
Or
candidates. Mark Rice for Congress. I got a couple of county board members and a couple of other candidates. I'm just going to do candidates this week and then the following week as well.
Yeah, because early voting has
Yeah,
begun because, since COVID now, it's voting season.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I call it.
It
voting
started in
season.
February. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
How that one little pandemic just
Yeah.
changed every aspect of our lives
Yeah.
and made our elections less secure, made our borders less secure, because all these people that are flying or illegally coming,
Mhm.
and some are being flown 325,000 to 43 different airports in the middle of the night, because they didn't want anybody to know.
Oh, you sound like Joe Biden. Why you whispering?
Even though they can't register to vote yet, but they need them in these states because for the congressional districts, they can, even if you're illegal, the census
It counts
counts
you.
you.
Mhm.
That's a warm body
Yes.
that have babies.
That's
There's
right.
another warm body.
Yes.
So that we don't lose any more congressional seats here in Illinois,
Correct.
which we did lose one.
Yes.
And
Well,
same
we've
with New
lost-
York and same with California, all
Yeah.
these blue states and cities that are flooding.
At one point, didn't we have
Flooding people
23,
leaving.
25 congressional seats here in Illinois? At some point, many years ago.
That's
So
a question
think
for
about
Dan
it.
Proft.
I have
but
to look
yes.
it up.
But I don't know if you know or got the memo, but Mayorkas,
Oh,
don't you dare call them illegals.
First of all, let me say that we don't use the term illegal immigrants. I actually issued a policy in the Department of Homeland Security. We use the term non-citizen to respect the dignity of every individual as a preliminary matter.
Got that?
mm-hmm.
Okay? Because, they're into changing our rhetoric. They're into changing history, taking statues down, and now he just wants you to know.
Yeah.
All right. With more on what's happened last night and didn't happen, let's welcome back to the program Scott McKay, publisher of the Hayride, contributing editor at the American Spectator, and author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. Good morning, Mr. McKay. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Hey.
Good. So what was the highlight or low light for you during last night's State of the Union address?
Is the State of the Union address?
Yeah.
I thought there was an old man barking like a dog at me while I had my TV on. I didn't realize that was a State of the Union address.
Yes, and one thing that everybody's talking about this morning is it's Laken Riley, not Lincoln Riley.
When he viewed it as
Yeah.
a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner, not really.
Oh, boy.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
Well, then don't let him in.
To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Now, do you think he really meant that apology that he said to Laken Riley's parents?
Can I say hell no? Because I think hell no is probably the right answer.
Yeah, I mean...
By the way, Lincoln Riley is the football coach
Right.
at USC. I don't think Joe Biden actually knows that. But, then again, what I guess I should say is Joe Biden has zero command of facts at all that aren't on his teleprompter.
Oh,
So naturally, he would have screwed that up. But what's disgusting about this 5 or 6 things that Joe Biden is capable of, and one of them is that if there's any criticism of Joe Biden, he defaults to Beau Biden, right?
Yep.
So in other words, he lets criminal illegals into the country, doesn't deport them when they do criminal things, and Laken Riley is killed by one of these, and his response is, "Oh, I lost a son too."
Right. But
and it's like, well,
but
okay,
they lost their daughter because of
to
his
get you off the
policies
hook
that he
that
put
you
in
lost
place.
a son.
Right. And it's so infuriating. And it was all lies about the economy and about inflation and wages are up, inflation's down, lie. I mean, did you get sick of counting the number of lies he spewed out of his mouth last night?
Well, and they have decided that inflation being down is something they're going to run on. The problem is this: prices are not down.
Yep.
Okay, they may be increasing at a slower pace than they were before, but credit card debt in this country is higher than it's ever been because people are using credit cards to try to get through the month. Okay, so until prices come down, to say inflation is going down is not going to win you any votes. In fact, it's going to make people angrier and angrier, and I think you're going to, you'll see that in polls. But I mean, you're exactly right, Amy. Over and over and over again in that speech, it wasn't just that he was lying, because Joe Biden has always lied since he first got elected to the Senate. The guy's done nothing but lie. But these are delusional lies. These are lies that people's daily experience disproves.
Yeah.
And so when he runs out there and he starts talking, about how wonderful everything is, and it's totally counter to folks' regular experience. I mean, you just make such a break with the public that anybody who's not a hardcore Democrat voter was more than happy to vote for Donald Trump instead of you. And I don't think his people really understand that. And what makes me nervous is when that finally sets in, what their reaction to it is, because I don't think you can trust them to operate as a normal political party. They haven't shown evidence that they're willing to lose within the system. They would, in fact, this is a couple of weeks back, Rasmussen had this report about it's like white upper middle class graduates of selective universities who are politically left and have certain kinds of white collar jobs, and 63% of these people said they would rather cheat than lose an election. And those are the people making the decision inside the Democrat Party. So what happens when not only is Joe Biden a non-starter with the voting public, but there's nobody else in that party who is capable of carrying the ticket? What do they do then?
Right.
And the fact that this guy, and of course, when I say this guy, I mean the corporate Joe Biden, meaning his handlers much more than him. They sent him out there to give this shouty, hardcore, partisan, far left, combative State of the Union speech, when what was absolutely called for was a conciliatory, non-threatening, centrist type of thing that, hey, guys, let's all get along type of thing. That's what needed to be put out there yesterday, and they couldn't even do it, which tells me we may be in a lot of trouble if the polls get to the point where, he's not within 6 or 8 points of Trump in any swing state. And in most of them, that's pretty much, we're about there.
Yeah.
And especially when you throw in the third party candidates like, Cornel West or RFK Jr., who mostly draw from Biden, that the spread, I mean, he's, 5-6 points in Pennsylvania and Michigan and 7 or 8 in Georgia and Arizona. you throw the third-party candidates in there, and that margin starts getting closer to 10.
Right, but if they know that they're going to lose, if they know, will there be a surprise at the DNC in Chicago?
And I mean, like, this is the question. Like, okay, do you parachute somebody in at the convention? Yeah, maybe so. Who's that going to be? Because, they did a couple of poll tests of, like, Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom, and, of course, they've also poll tested Kamala Harris.
Oh, boy.
And, like, they're all worse than Biden. Like, the public doesn't like any of those either. So, like, what happens when they say, okay, this is an election we can't win?
What about our governor, Governor Pritzker, who I have a feeling spent some of his own billions of dollars, because he's a billionaire twice over, to get the DNC in Chicago? Yeah. I'm sure he had to do that. But what about him? Is his name floating around up there? DC?
I've not heard his name. I mean...
Oh,
see, you know what happens?
Oh, that's Pritzker.
I'm telling you, they have people that listen to the show. By the way,
I'm sure.
I know that they do.
Yeah,
people. At least they did. When he was running against Darren Bailey.
Well, he's
so
spreading his money around, so I mean.
Yeah, we're trying to get back. It's Scott McKay, but in the meantime, for a little laugh.
Yeah.
Did you hear this new parody about Joe Biden?
No, let's
go. The parody song. Keep falling.
He's an old guy, has dementia, can't lead us, and the country is screwed. Tell some big lies.
Sing along.
Barely speaks English, sniffs children. And their mom's hair too goes the wrong way. When he leaves his speeches, gets lost each day. In the White House yard, all the Dems say that we should re-elect him. How can he run when walking is hard? And Joe keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling, keep falling, falling, yeah, he keeps falling, and Joe keeps.
Justin, why didn't Justin make this song? Come on, Justin.
It could be him.
Keeps falling, falling.
Justin slipped.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, this would have been perfect for Justin.
We're back with Scott McKay. Good morning again. How are you?
Sorry.
What
Sorry
happened?
about that. I don't know if I upset the NSA or something, and the call got dropped
Be
off.
careful what you say about Pritzker. But Pritzker, he's not in the top 5 there to replace President Biden.
Well, the one thing about Pritzker is, Pritzker is Obama, and I've said this over and over and over again. It's one of the reasons I wrote Racism, Revenge, and Ruin, is that Obama is the force behind all of this, and you can't really be the 2024 Democrat nominee unless you are some species of Obama puppet, and Pritzker would fit that bill. Now the question is, can you sell J.B. Pritzker to the rest of the country?
Yeah. And
I have my doubts about that. And the other part of it is, I don't know if the Democrats can throw Kamala Harris overboard for anybody who's not also a black woman.
Right. That's true.
Oh.
I wouldn't diminish Pritzker in saying that he's Obama's puppet. I think that's the reverse. I think Obama was one. I mean, they sent so much money to the Obama campaign, and
went to his library.
Yeah. And remember, Pritzker wanted that Senate seat.
So. Oh yeah, we have the tapes.
Well, we don't have them all though, right?
No, but we have him talking to Blagojevich saying, what about that Senate seat, and how can I fit in and be one of the cool kids?
And Scott, I saw that you were on Tucker. Did the numbers surpass the Putin-Trump interview?
No, it didn't. But we did get about 4 million views on that, which was pretty good.
Wow. I saw that.
That was a fun experience. He could not be a nicer guy. He really couldn't. I mean, he is a guy's a prince, and for all the abuse that they give him, it's to me it's totally unjustified. It certainly did a lot for book sales, which was good. I mean, like Amazon and Barnes and Noble sold out of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin within like a couple of days after that interview going live. So
speaking of that book,
was great.
Speaking of that book, I got to buy one from you, and you got to. I want your autograph on it, if that's okay.
Yeah. Hook
Because
up
he has
with me.
Black
We'll
and
definitely do that.
John is the
He
host
knows.
of Black
We
and
know
White
each
Radio.
other.
Oh, you guys know each
Yeah,
other.
he-
Oh,
he-
I'm sorry.
he's probably mad at me because he's supposed to have been on my show, and I've been taking off so much that I couldn't get him on. But I'm definitely going to get him on. But you wrote an article over at spectator.org. Trump's re-election effort is becoming the hero's journey. What do you mean by that? What is this article talking about? Because I've said from day one that I think Trump's going to surpass Reagan as far as the numbers of the Black and brown community who's going to vote for him.
Well, I don't remember which poll it was. I think it was the New York Times Siena poll that was over the weekend.
Yep.
And Trump's up 46-40 on Biden with Hispanics. So that's like a big number. The hero's journey is kind of a classic literary archetype, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Like the hero's journey, the Gospels tell a hero's journey story with Jesus, but Sinbad is the hero's journey, and Indiana Jones is the hero's journey. It's like the intrepid, plucky individual who overcomes the odds and makes the world a better place by beating the bad guys and getting the girl, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Trump doesn't exactly fit that archetype, but the presence of super evil villains will contribute to the hero's journey, even when the hero is a little off center.
Right.
And at this point, the Democrats are so nasty and so corrupt, and just so outright evil. I mean, but Amy, you mentioned the 325,000 people that they've been flying into the country
in the middle of the night under the cloak, dark of secrecy.
And arresting people for protesting outside abortion clinics, and sicking the FBI on Catholics who want to go to the Latin Mass, and all this other stuff that they've done, makes them the bad guys, and Trump is against them, and so he's the hero. And the level of nastiness with this lawfare and everything else that they've done, they are setting him up as the hero. I'm not trying to say Trump is Jesus, but he might kind of be an orange Indiana Jones in this thing. And so, and this story, if he wins the election, then it's very much sort of a classic comeback hero's journey story that would not have been set up this way if the Democrats were even remotely, just normal and conventional in their approach to politics. But these are kind of radical revolutionaries that are in charge of the Democratic Party. They want to break this country down. That's clear. And so the question is okay, who can save America? And the guy that's running to do it is Trump. And he may not be the classic hero that some of these groups like suburban housewives want, but he's what you got. And at this point, it kind of looks like if Trump can just be somewhat gracious and save his invective for Joe Biden and his handlers, and to everybody else just be kind of nice, I think he's pretty much got it in the bag, and he can win this outside of the margin of fraud.
Well, I do think he's matured as a candidate, because in 2016, he never would have had his opponents who lost to him on stage with him like he did at Iowa.
I agree.
And also Trump's tweets, I didn't like him at the time, but it didn't lead to wars, open borders, and inflation. So I'm okay, because I was not on Trump team 2 years ago. I was not. But now,
as a country, we've begun to realize there are much worse things than mean tweets.
Yep. All right, Scott McKay, we're going to have to leave it there. He is publisher of Hayride, contributing editor at the American Spectator, and as you just heard, author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. And I'm sure your book's going to sell out once again because you're on our morning show.
That's right. Thanks, John. Thanks, Amy. Have a good weekend.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter.